The option of filing the OPT online presents several benefits. For one, it eliminates the need to mail the application to USCIS, which means that now your application will be received much faster. You get more payment flexibility for your OPT filing fee with the option of making a payment using a debit card, a credit card, or an electronic funds transfer from your bank account. And you automatically receive alerts on the status of your OPT case, which means that you no longer have to wait to receive a USCIS notice in the mail. And so with all these benefits, I'm excited to show you step by step how to apply for your OPT online using a free USCIS account. Coming right up. Hey, I'm Chuki here from SojourningsColor.com, where we help international students maximize the return on their education investment. As a disclaimer, the content in this video is presented here for educational purposes only and should not be considered as legal advice. If you require personalized legal advice on your OPT application, you should seek the counsel of a licensed and experienced attorney. Now, the ability to file the I-765 online is available to F-1 students who intend to file the pre-completion OPT, the post-completion OPT, and the 24-month STEM OPT extension. However, this video will only focus on the post-completion OPT. Now, to get started filing the OPT online, you will need to gather the following documents. The most important document you're going to need here is your OPT Form I-20, which you're going to be requesting from your school's designated school official, or DSO for short. Now, you should review this Form I-20 thoroughly, ensuring that there are no mistakes on the I-20 before you proceed to sign this I-20 in the student attestation section on page number 1, as the submission of an I-20 containing errors is going to delay the processing of your OPT application. You should also note that USCIS must receive your OPT application within 30 days from the date this Form I-20 is issued. Otherwise, USCIS could reject your OPT application. Next, you're going to need a valid government-issued passport, a 2" by 2" colored passport photograph of yourself taken recently, and you can see examples of photographs that meet the US photo requirements using the link you can find in the description section below. Now, I usually recommend that you get these passport photographs taken professionally at your local Walgreens or CVS. You are also going to be providing an electronic copy of your most recent Form I-94 or a copy of your paper Form I-94 if you received one. Now, you can obtain an electronic copy of your Form I-94 at the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol's website, linked in the description section below. You will also need to provide any previous employment authorization document cards that you've received from USCIS. And finally, you will need to provide any previous Form I-20s that you've received where you were authorized for curricular practical training CPT or optional practical training OPT. Be prepared to make scanned copies of these documents. So now that you know what documents to work with, let's jump on the computer and get you set up with a free USCIS online account. Now, you will need to visit uscis.gov, and on the home page, navigate to sign in and select create an account, and this will take you to the sign up page. Here you should enter your primary email address, as all future communications from USCIS will be sent to this email address on file. Now, once you sign up, you will need to confirm your email address. Next, you will accept the terms of use, and then you will be directed to create a password. Next, you will choose a two-step verification method and then complete a two-step verification. And finally, you will need to provide 5 password reset answers. Now, you should make a note of the answers you provided here just in case you forget your password. And once completed, you will be given the option to log into your USCIS account. Now, go ahead and select login to your My USCIS account. Now, once you get to the USCIS dashboard, you want to click on File a Form Online. And over here, you want to scroll down to I-765. Click on that, and then scroll down to the bottom and click on Start Form. On the next page, you're going to see a description of what the I-765 is, the eligibility criteria, the fee, and the documents you're going to need to provide. At the bottom of this page, you want to click on Next. On this page, you're going to get a description of how the online application works. At the bottom of this page, you want to click on Start. And that's going to bring you to the online Form I-765. Now, to the left window here are the 5 sections of the online Form I-765, where each section contains different pages where you're going to be providing responses. Now, for the question of what your eligibility category is, for the sake of this video, we are working on the post-completion OPT. So you're going to click on this, scroll down to C3B and choose Student Post-Completion OPT. And then you can either click on Next or you can move on to the next page. Over here, your reason for applying will be initial permission to accept employment. Here you would answer yes if you've ever filed a Form I-765 with USCIS and no if you haven't. Now over here, if you have someone helping you complete this Form I-765 application, you should go ahead and answer yes to this question and then provide information about this person, whether they are a preparer or an interpreter. Otherwise, you can answer no to this question and move on to the next page. Now next is the About You section, and on this page you are going to provide your current legal name as well as any other names that you've used since birth. On the next page you will enter your contact information, starting with your daytime telephone number, your cell phone number, and an email address. Now keep in mind that USCIS will rarely contact you through a phone number, so be cautious of any calls you receive from anyone claiming to be a USCIS representative. Here you will enter your current mailing address, which must be in the US, as USCIS typically does not mail documents to foreign addresses. Ensure you use an address that will be valid for several months into the future, as USCIS will mail your EAD card to this address on file. Now, if you've designated someone else to receive notices from USCIS on your behalf, you should enter their name in the In Care of Name field. Now, once you've entered your mailing address, you might receive this message informing you that your address couldn't be verified by the US Postal Service. Now, if you think you've entered your address correctly, you can go ahead and ignore this message. Otherwise, you should edit your address. Now, if your mailing address here is going to be different from your physical address, you would select no here and enter information about your physical address. Otherwise, you may select yes and move on to the next page. On this page, you will state your gender and also provide information about your marital status. Next, you will provide information about where and when you were born, including the city, the state, the country of birth, and your date of birth. On this page, you will provide detailed information about your immigration record, starting by listing all the countries where you hold citizenship. Here you will enter your I-94 record number exactly the way it appears on your Form I-94. Over here, based on your most recent I-94 record, you will enter the date, the place, and your immigration status during your last arrival in the US. Enter your most recent passport number here, and if you have a travel document, you should do the same here as well. And over here, you want to enter the expiration date of your current passport or travel document, and also list the country that provided this travel document or passport to you. For this question, your current immigration status will be an F-1 student since you're applying for OPT. And over here, you're going to enter your service ID number, which you can locate on the top left corner of your Form I-20. On the next page, you will enter your A number, also called an alien registration number, if you have one. Only F-1 students approved for an EAD typically receive A numbers. Now, if you're an F-1 student and you've never been approved for an EAD, you wouldn't have an A number, so you can select the option, I don't have an A number, and move on to the next question. For the question of your USCIS online account number, again, just like the A number, if you've never received this number, you should respond, I do not have or know my USCIS online account number. Here, if you've received the social security number, you would select yes and then enter your social security number, then enter no to obtaining a social security card. And in the case that you've not received a social security card, you would answer no to this question and answer yes to this question, and then go ahead and provide your consent for disclosure, which will ask you to provide your father's birth name and your mother's birth name. And when you're done, you want to proceed to the next section. In the evidence section, you will be uploading the required documents described earlier in the video. On this page, you will upload a recent 2" by 2" colored photograph of yourself, and you can check out this link here that describes the photo requirement of the US Department of State. Now, make sure that any files you upload meets the file requirement listed here. Next, you would upload an electronic copy of your most recent Form I-94 or a scanned copy of your paper Form I-94 if you received one. On the next page, you will upload a scanned copy of the front and back of any previous EAD cards that you've received. And if you've never received an EAD card, you would upload a copy of a government ID, such as the biographical page of your passport. Next, you will upload scanned copies of any Form I-20 that you've received in the past for CPT or OPT authorization. And finally, for the last evidence, you will upload a copy of your current OPT Form I-20 endorsed for OPT by your DSO. Again, note that USCIS must receive your post-completion OPT application within 30 days from the issue date on this Form I-20. Keep in mind that you can stop working on your application at any point and the system will automatically save your responses. However, you must return to this incomplete application within 30 days, otherwise your application could be deleted. And that brings us to the additional information section of the Form I-765. Now here you're going to provide more detailed answers to any specific fields in the Form I-765. So for example, let's say you were authorized for pre-completion OPT at your master's degree level. Then over here for the section, you're going to choose evidence. For the page, you're going to choose the previously authorized CPT or OPT. For the question, you're going to choose previously authorized CPT or OPT. And here you're going to provide the duration for which you were authorized for pre-completion OPT, if it was a part-time or full-time OPT, and the degree level at which you performed the pre-completion OPT. And once you're done, you can save your response. For another example, let's say you've received a previous service ID. Then what you want to do, you want to add a response. You want to go to sections, select about you. For the page, you want to scroll down to your immigration information. And for the question, you want to choose a question about your service number. And here you're going to enter information about your previous service ID number, as well as the degree level and status for which you were given that number. And that concludes the additional information section of the Form I-765. And that brings us to the final section, which is the review section, where it's very important to look over your Form I-765, making sure that you have no missing entries or making sure that you haven't entered any incorrect information. Now note that this online application system doesn't stop you from submitting an incomplete or an incorrect I-765 application. So you must review the responses you've provided on the Form I-765, even if you do not receive any error messages as indicated here. On the next page, you're going to get a summary of all the responses that you've provided on this online application, and you can also download an electronic copy of your Form I-765 through this link. And as you can see, this is how your responses would appear if you completed a paper Form I-765. Now, once you're done reviewing your application and you're ready to move forward, you will agree to the applicant's statement here. And on the next page, you will agree to the applicant's declaration and certification and electronically sign this Form I-765 by entering your full legal name here. On the next page, you will be asked to pay an application fee for the Form I-765, which in this case is set at $410, but this is subject to change at any time in the future. Once you click on Pay and Submit, you will be redirected to pay.gov, where you can make payment with a credit card, a debit card, or an electronic fund transfer from your bank account. Finally, note that once you pay the filing fee, your application is complete and you can no longer make any changes to the responses on your Form I-765. Now, once the payment for your filing fee has been approved, you are going to receive a confirmation notice informing you that your OPT application has been submitted. And in your online account, you will also receive what's called a Form I-797 receipt notice, with which you can track the status of your online application. And moving forward, you will be receiving notifications on the status of your OPT application through this account. For example, on the circumstances where USCIS might issue what's called a request for evidence on your application, you will be able to quickly provide this documentation through your USCIS online account. Now, if you want to learn more about what you can expect after your OPT application has been submitted, then I highly recommend you check out this video on the end screen. Thank you for watching this video and best of luck on your OPT application, and I'll see you on the next one. But until then, be unbounded.